ready? Are you ready? Oh, I'm definitely ready. I got my meat and my turkey leg. It's time to watch Game of Thrones again. Woo! Guys, welcome to the return of our Game of Thrones reviews. The final season. Oh, no. It's a sad thing, but it's also a joyous event. Thank you, Alex, for making me a turkey leg. We had a great feast for our first episode. We all watched it together. So our returning hosts, of course, are Alex and Erica from last season. What's up, guys? You excited?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Well, I also want to thank our good brothers in arms at the Stardust app for sponsoring our television reviews and making this come back. As you know, last season we got a few claims from YouTube, demonetization, trouble with HBO. And so Stardust app partnered with us today to help make this possible. So thank you to our partners at Stardust app. Definitely download the app. It's basically an app that allows you to share your reactions live immediately on different types of movies and TV shows. Some of my greatest friends that I follow on YouTube, Jeremy Johns and Chris Stuckman, are a part of Stardust app. So we're all over there doing unique video content for it. Definitely check it out. Each sign up just to download the app and follow me on there is $1 for the show. So if you want another way to support the Angry Joe Show, you can do that using the Stardust app. So thank you guys so much for that. Let's just jump right in to the review. Okay, so I thought that this was a fantastic return to form. It was like a warm, good old warm blanket embracing me again with the Games of Thrones goodness. I enjoyed every second of it, but it was way too short. What was all this crap about supersized episodes? Who do I have to kill?
I'll kill him with you. Let's go.
Yes.
50 minutes. It was really short.
It was too short.
Super short. With credits, I think it's like 1 hour and 5 minutes. Made me very mad because we're only getting 6 of these things.
Yes.
But, how did you think that the episode turned out?
Well, at first I was worried. I mean, we had taken a really long hiatus. It's a year and a half, and I was worried. I mean, I loved it all the way up until the end. I mean, last season was just all action and explosions, and that kind of excitement died off for me. Like after a year and then stretching on, I was getting worried. It's like, am I going to be as excited as I was last season?
When we were driving there, I was like, it doesn't even feel like it's coming
the
on
premiere.
today.
Yeah.
And that was because 18 months.
They
a really
took
long
too
time.
long.
But I'm happy to report after the show started, actually like right up when it first started, when those Sullied were marching, I was like, yeah, we're in it. Let's do it. I was right back in it.
Actually, I got real into it with their brand new intro. That was really well done.
We got to talk about that new intro. It was sick.
It was
There's
sick.
some Easter eggs in there. They're showing symbols on the rings and
Yep.
stuff. What I really appreciated is this time they've shown stuff they've never shown before. Interiors of the
Flying
castles
through, going
and
down.
little intricate things assembling.
Yep.
Oh, great. Game of
Yes.
Thrones. Love hearing that song. Oh, I better not, because I'll get
You're going to
copyright
reclaim.
claim.
You can't.
Oh.
Don't even
Well,
hum it.
Can you
From HBO.
can you go with the Peter Dinklage?
Yeah, you can do that. You
can't
can
even
do
hum
that.
it.
Peter's going to copyright claim.
Oh.
Anyways, but man, for such a short episode, I will say, I was surprised with how much they packed into the episode. They dealt with a lot. The thing that and by the way, guys, this is a spoiler-filled review. It's really the only way to do this. So if you don't want spoilers, go watch the episode first, then come back here and watch this.
Yep.
But I will say right away, I'm so glad they don't drag out the whole telling Jon, right? that he is related and that he's a Targaryen and that he's the rightful king.
It did happen at the very end, but I kind of like the fact that they waited till the very end, where you can see that him and Daenerys have really formed a true bond instead of just, oh, we have to go to war together. Let's go. All right.
Yeah, definitely. So we don't have to, wait a bunch of episodes for them to reveal that. This shit is going to be breakneck speed the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, they went almost too fast. I mean, there's a lot of reunions that we had here. I mean, an incredible amount of reunions, and they kind of crammed them all in. And one of the things that I love about the series is they have a lot of times where characters, even like not valuable characters to the show, just have conversations, and I loved it. There was some of that here. I think the Tyrion-Sansa conversation was gold. It was one of probably my favorite scene of the whole episode, where they're talking and you get to kind of feel out where they've been and how they got there, and then we get some like really great lines from Sansa about Tyrion. But some of the other reunions,
he's a little bit dumb.
Yeah,
Tyrion was top tier intelligent, and she goes, "Wait, so let me get this straight. You believe your sister. Your sister tried to kill you.
Yep.
But you believe your sister that when she's going to send her army up here and help us." And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "No, she's motivated. She's got things to fight for." And she's like,
I used to believe you were a wise man.
The smart
man.
one. The smart one. And Tyrion, what's going to happen? Tyrion was mean mugging the doorway when Jon was having sex with Dany. What's going on there? And then, Cersei had kind of, implanted some ideas. Where is Tyrion's loyalty? I'm wondering, is there potential for him to switch sides? No.
I don't believe that he'll actually leave Daenerys. I think that he truly believes she can actually make a difference in the world, and that's why he's still backing her.
And they'll convince Tyrion that this idea that Cersei's going to help is a fraud, and then he'll do something about it.
I mean,
he's going to find out immediately. We know that the very next thing that happens in the next episode should be, they're not coming.
Well, Jaime rode up to let them know. He's there now.
He's the hooded figure. When that hood came down, I was like, oh, shit, Jaime's here.
Yeah, Jaime's fucking
And
here.
he's looking around. It's a pretty nice setup you guys got. And he looks, and Bran was there to meet him.
He's just sitting in there.
Bran's been sitting in the courtyard the entire episode.
This entire time.
He's sitting in a wheelchair, and no one's wheeled this poor boy out. He's just sitting in the courtyard the entire time.
Right from when the whole army comes in and everybody's having the conversation. And Bran's just sitting there, and then everybody goes in and does the separate scenes, and Bran's like, I'm still here.
Sam runs down. He's still there. Same spot every time. He's just like... Hi.
Well, it was like I'm waiting for an old friend. And the look that Jaime realizes when that's Bran, he's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good conclusion. But I just don't think that Bran gives a shit.
Well, Bran isn't. Bran, he's like, no, I'm no longer Bran. I'm the three-eyed raven. He's like, this put me on my path, and it's, we'll push it under the carpet. It won't matter.
Yeah.
So many things happen in the episode. Let me try to break it down a little bit and what happened and what went in what order. So we got Sansa doesn't like Daenerys.
No.
They barb a little bit. She's saying, well, what the hell? You bring all these people we don't know, because people in the north are not. They're not friendly. Especially when you have a marching army through here. And they did draw some parallels between the pilot and this episode with the army and the children.
There was a lot of callbacks. Like a lot.
I liked them. That was great.
But if you give me 50 minutes, do I want callbacks to the pilot episode, or do I want you to resolve the story that needs to be resolved? Like flesh out the characters. Like, it was nice that we see Arya look at the kid and be like, oh, I remember what that was like. And we see Jaime, who's no longer blonde, and it's no longer a gold helmet, but it's a hood, and he's almost not even blonde anymore. Like, we see all of these different parallels from the first episode. Flesh out more of everything that needed to be fleshed out in this episode, because we got really abbreviated Arya Hound reunion. I wanted 5 more minutes of them. Those two
talk about that.
And there was a lot of these like really abbreviated reunions that it's like, come on, like give me more of that, because if we're gonna go fan service this season, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see parallels for the first episode.
There's no time for fan service, and that's why a lot of these scenes I feel are going to be these little reunions, and these interactions are going to be bittersweet because they're going to be very short. But we do get a scene where Sansa's basically doing Sansa's like, well, I got 2 new armies to feed. I got these horse people, and I got these
She's
slaves.
thinking like a ruler.
Yeah, and
then
I
my
got
favorite
some
quote.
dragons.
My
Yeah,
favorite
what do
quote
they
of the
eat?
yeah, whatever they want.
Yeah, that's damn right.
Yeah.
'Cause you
There was
ain't gonna-
practically 3 snaps in the air as she said it.
He did snap.
Yeah.
I heard him snap.
Do you think that Sansa is going to try to pit Jon Snow against Daenerys?
No, I don't think so. I mean, they could. I think it would be kind of cheap because they haven't let on anything, especially when Jon and Sansa kind of made up a little bit. And they said, do you trust me? They cut off that conversation, which, again, I wanted more of that conversation because it's really, really important. You give me 30 seconds, and then it almost feels cheap that they're going to surprise us because these characters did talk, and they probably fleshed out absolutely everything. They're just not showing us anything so they can surprise us in 3 episodes from now.
So many different things to show.
Also concerning that Arya brought it up to Jon when they had the reunion as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Sansa was defending the family. He goes, well, I'm family too. And she goes, don't you forget that.
Well, speaking about that scene comes next when it's this reunion between Jon and Arya. I've been waiting for this forever. It was super sweet, but it was like, weren't you stabbed or weren't you dead?
How did you survive a stab in the heart? Oh, I didn't. And then no follow-up question. It's like, oh!
Yeah, well, it's like, I don't give a shit. I'm happy that you're
Yeah.
alive. And I thought it was touching and sweet. But again, a little
Too short.
Is that
abbreviated.
a little foreshadowing too? I mean, Arya talking about something stabbing Jon in the heart
exactly.
again.
Yeah, and then she talks a little bit about this new queen, Dany. And I think that, honestly, the direction this is going, and I'm going to make a prediction here, first prediction of our review series, is I think that Jon is going to have to go against Daenerys. And I think that Jon is going to kill Daenerys. I think that's how this is going to end because of a particular line. And I don't remember who said it, but I remember it was very specific. Oh, it was a really good line. I think it was Arya. You made that sacrifice to stop being king for your people. Can she make that, or was that Sam?
That was Sam.
Yeah.
That was Sam. Can she make that same sacrifice to stop being queen for the people? So I think Daenerys' ultimate fate is probably going to be, everybody thinks Daenerys is coming in here. She's like the overpowered favorite, and she's going to rule on the Iron Throne.
She's definitely not the favorite, Joe.
She's going to rule on the Iron Throne. Everything's going to be great. She's going to break the wheel, and everything's going to be cool. No, I think she's going to save the kingdom, but it's not going to be on the Iron Throne. It's going to be to save the kingdom through not ruling.
Okay.
Is what and when that line happened, I was like, oh crap.
I hated that line.
They're pitting. Oh, I loved the line.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic. But okay, so we got a little bit of conflict already brewing with internal politics, which is bullshit because we got the White Walkers coming right around.
Literally right there.
Yeah. But before that, there's more than just the White Walkers to deal with. We go to King's Landing.
Yes.
Where we see Cersei. Oh, Cersei. One of my favorite characters. Love her. She's so great. But you got one of my most hated characters. What's this dude's name? Euron. Yeah. Just coming in with the Golden Company. 20,000. Well, maybe 19,975 guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he killed a few for cheating.
No. Or
maybe
was
he
it
cheated.
he cheated?
Or
Yeah.
maybe he cheated, right. And all he could think about is having sex with Cersei. I don't know what that was about.
That was
like,
always his goal.
Yeah, that's
from the very
true.
start, he's like, I'm gonna go do her.
I'm going to go have sex with her. We're going to have,
Yep.
I'm going to put a prince in
Yeah.
your belly. And she's like, you can see she's really
Yeah.
with the smile. But I don't know why they had to do that. I really like Cersei being like, you know what? Because he comes into the throne room. Look, he's like, I brought you your army.
Yeah.
Drop them panties, And she's like, I said when the war's over, he's like, well, the war could last years. It's a weak-ass argument.
Cersei clearly saw his hesitation to continue their alliance if she didn't show him some.
You think that he could take all that shit back? I don't think so.
He-
She's the one paying for the army.
She
Basically, what I was saying, Erica's like, why she have to give it up to him? Because I hate that motherfucker.
Oh, not that
so
she
much.
had to. Like that I think is the rational. That's why she rationalized actually doing it was because she thought maybe he'd turn around and go to Daenerys.
Throw him 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and then it saves her some headache.
That's true.
Yeah.
He did kind of mention something
Yeah.
like that there's
It's gonna
another
be a few
queen out
years,
here.
yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's-
but it brings one of my favorite quotes to the series, and
Yep.
we're bringing this segment back. We're gonna pick out one. Everybody here is gonna give their favorite quote from the episode. Mine was very, very meta. Well, I had several, honestly, because it was such a good episode, in my opinion. I wanted elephants.
Yeah.
Because if you know, in the books, the Golden Company have these glorious elephants, and they're badass. And I was going to see some undead
They mentioned
giants
it.
fighting
Yeah.
golden elephants.
Yep.
It was going to be awesome. But I guess in the budget, there was not enough budget. So they said elephants don't travel well on the ships.
Yep.
I said, you know what? I'll buy it.
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
It's fine.
But it was meta because, you know, everybody wanted
We
to
all
see
wanted
something
to see
more, a
that.
little more glorious.
Yeah.
And she said, I want elephants. What are some of your favorite quotes?
My favorite one that we already kind of covered is when Sansa and Daenerys are trading barbs at the table, and then she's like, "What do I even feed dragons? What do they even eat?" And she looks at her and gives her the eyebrow. It's like, whatever they want.
Whatever the
and
fuck
it's just
they
like,
want.
oh, all right.
And you ain't going to stop them.
Yeah.
Which is at least in that one scene where the dragons didn't eat much. What was that about? I kind of missed the context. Was they didn't have enough food to bring, or the dragons
No. I
just
think
didn't want to
they
eat
didn't like
because
the
they
North.
didn't?
They don't like the North.
Ah,
yeah, so they're
okay,
just not
they
eating.
did mention that. What
Yeah.
was your favorite quote?
I had a few, but I really liked when Sansa told off Peter Dinklage and just left it at that. There was no follow-up. She just thought, I thought you were a wise man,
Oh,
and just turned and
yeah.
fucking left. And you're just like,
Yeah, because you're
Damn.
basically farming him right where it hurts. 'Cause
Yeah.
he thinks. And
Yeah.
in this one, he might not be a good thinker
he
no more.
might not be thinking that
It
Cersei would actually see the White Walkers and then not send the army.
I think it was a good point that, you know, when they had previously met, it was Tyrion who was a higher level than Sansa, and now the roles may have switched, that Sansa is a higher level than Tyrion.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't lead to Tyrion's downfall, where he
Hopefully
made
not.
a mistake and he has to sacrifice himself in order to correct the mistake, but we'll see.
Well, I mean, they've kind of framed Tyrion as being almost like terrible with strategy for sure, because the entire like every decision that he
It's
made
true.
in the previous season led to either military defeat, the Tyrells all being murdered.
Yep.
There was a huge blunders on his part, so he's clearly not as smart as he thinks he is.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, we got this scene. I thought they might drag this one out. Reek, you know, well, they call him Reek now, but is
No.
he now a Greyjoy
They
again?
went back to
They went
calling
back
him
to
Theon.
Greyjoy,
Yeah.
Theon basically rescues his sister
Mm-hmm.
from the sort of the Iron Fleet or the Golden Company.
From
The
her
Iron Fleet,
uncle. Yeah.
And I didn't expect it to come this soon. Immediately, they're pros. They kill, you know, everybody. They rescue her, cut her free. First thing she does, punch him in the fucking face.
She headbutts him.
He earned him.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Headbutts it. He earned it.
Because he let her be taken captive, and so
Betrayal.
betrayal. So,
Just a
but she
disgusting
extended
brother.
the hand
Yeah.
afterwards. It was like, you got that one. I'm like, you earned it.
Right, and then she picks him up, and later on, they must have commandeered a ship because they're on their way back.
ships.
And she's like, you know, so he does say, "You're my queen," because he doesn't immediately be like, "We gotta go help," you know, Jon
Yeah.
Snow, and we gotta help everybody. He kind of leaves the decision up to her,
Yep.
which he's showing that he's truly loyal to his sister now. He's not gonna do all
They
this.
say that they're going to go take over the fortress again. They're going to go take back the drowned throne.
Now, do you think that's a good idea? Do you think they should sail immediately to start fighting the White Walkers with
they're not-
everybody else? Or her plan, which is, well, if they lose, they're going to need a place to retreat to, so we're going to go off and do something different.
They don't have much of an army.
Yeah,
and they
they
don't
only have 3
typically
ships.
fight people. I mean, they get off their ships, they raid the land, they get back on their ships, but they're not warriors. So unless they've got a huge standing army, which I don't think they do, they're probably all with the Iron Fleet down in King's
You're right.
Landing.
They're not warriors. They're sailors.
Yeah.
They'll kick your ass on the seas, not
So
necessarily.
possibly going back and taking over the fleet, and once the fleet goes back to wherever they're at, you know, they
Yeah,
have a
that could
new
be good.
ruler.
So y'all are
they-
in support of this idea.
It's not the worst idea
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, it's nice to see that Yara's still loyal to Daenerys because there was that alliance had been set up.
And she does allow Theon to
go back.
go
Yeah.
because she's like, I could tell that you want to go and help them and you want to help Jon.
Yeah, I mean, so we had just watched all of Game of Thrones recently, and so I think in the last episode of the last season, Theon they have a talk with Jon, and Jon's like, "Look, you're half Stark, you're half Greyjoy," and he's like, "Well, I want to go rescue my sister." It's like, "Yeah, what are you still here for?"
Yeah, why are you?
And so when they kind of mimic that here, where they said almost the exact same thing to Theon,
That was the last episode.
Yeah, it kind of felt cheap. That it's just like, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You can make your own decisions, and
Yeah.
you don't have to do that. But
Now, what certainly didn't feel cheap, and what, in my opinion, is the best scene in this particular episode, you guys might have a different opinion, but one of the reasons why we review so we could discuss it, the dragon riding. Oh my God. Jon and Daenerys take a little bit of a detour to a little scenic area.
Little detour.
Little detour.
Yeah.
As she says, we could stay here for thousands of years
Which
and nobody
Jon
would be
has
able to
heard
find us.
before.
yeah, I also didn't like that callback.
God dang it!
It's
You don't
another
like
callback.
nothing, man. I liked it. Well, that particular one I didn't like. What
I love
did
them
like,
riding and the quips
yes.
and everything
Yes.
else.
So
but
she mounts the dragon, and you know, I'm like, here we go. Is he gonna do it?
Is it Viserys? I want to say, or is
Yeah.
it Rhaegar? The other dragon leans into Jon the second that he sees his mom on Drogo, and like he's implying, "Hey, she's got a rider. Like, why don't you hop on? Let's go for a
let's do
fly
this.
too." Yeah.
And he's you know, basically presenting himself. He trusts Jon enough, or he will allow Jon, you know. Which they haven't really made that too clear in the series. I felt like I really wish they would have made it more clear.
he's
that
ridden a dragon
only
before.
Targaryens can ride dragons. Yes, but by himself.
the
where
dragon
he's
drivers, as we
Right.
were saying.
Exactly.
You,
So
you hold the reins that aren't there, but anyone else can ride the back. Anyone, including a White Walker and like 8 other dudes
Wildlings.
and wildlings, and like everyone's ridden a dragon.
Yep.
no,
You can't
no,
fly it down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I thought it was fantastically done because I haven't really seen dragon riding done very well in a television series. I think this is probably the best. Even in movies, they haven't done dragon riding as well as this scene. Yeah. You feel like you're riding the dragon, and his dragon pulls some badass tricks. Probably not with Jon's permission. He's like, check this out, buddy.
look what I can
Here we
do.
go.
Yeah.
And he dives, and it's just
But
so cool.
towards the end of the flying, you could see Jon start maneuvering the
Oh, yeah.
dragon and like actually getting a hang for it.
Already
that
getting
was,
the hang
that was
of
really
It
cool.
reminded me a lot of like some of my favorite scenes in Avatar, where you know he's learning how to fly in Avatar. They do the cliff dives, and so there was a lot of. I thought that was really, really well done in Avatar too.
Yeah.
So I really liked them flying around.
The natural movements.
and
that
everything
would
that
be there.
Daenerys said was in those scenes was really funny as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another really, really good scene that I think excels and really shows you the power of the acting in the show is the scene between Daenerys and Sam. So we have a lot of stuff has gone down in the Game of Thrones series, and with Dany's rise to power, she's had to murder a lot of people. She's had to execute prisoners, and unfortunately affect the lives of those around her that she's supposed to rule, that she's supposed to become allies with. And we get a little bit of that here when originally she comes in to congratulate Sam for saving her right-hand man, Jay Bear, who loves her so much. And
Who doesn't love Jay
and I thought
Bear?
this was great. And, you know, I had not even considered where the scene was going to twist.
Yeah.
I was just like, whoa, yeah, Sam gets some credit. He's going to get to ask for whatever the hell he wants. He's going to get good position in the new kingdom. But then she drops a bomb on him that she murdered his father. And not only his father, but his brother, who was following him at the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And boy, Sam, you could just see it in his face.
The lip.
What an absolute amazing job in acting. I could fucking feel it. And I was like, and it's Sam. It's so Sam because he doesn't want to like get upset with her because he knows that this is the new queen and he has to show respect. And so he politely asks to be excused. Fantastic scene, and one that really shows the emotional weight of the series.
Yes.
Yeah. I think he did.
Whoa. So what happened? I know. Right after we saw this
Yeah.
episode,
I was
upset.
thoroughly upset. Like he did such an amazing job, and I absolutely love
Yeah.
Sam. He's one of my favorite characters in the show, and then the actor killed it. He did an
yes,
amazing
the
job.
actor killed it,
But the
and
writing-
Alex agrees.
Yeah.
But what is it that
The writing feels, and I can be wrong, right? Maybe Sam is truly the purest person who's ever existed. His father gave him the ultimatum: you're going to take the oath of the black
Yep.
and go up there, or I'm going to kill you. And then
Yeah.
he had to leave. His father threatened him again when he was down there. His father was a traitor,
Yeah.
treasonous.
Treasonous.
Remember, because the Tarleys were bannermen of the Tyrells, who were allies of Daenerys Targaryen. So they were allies. Betrayed them, joined the Lannisters, killed everyone over there, and you should have just been executed on the spot anyway,
Yeah.
because you betrayed your people that you loyal to,
And she did give him
and
a
she gave him the
chance.
opportunity.
Yeah.
It was a little rush, and they definitely ham-fisted it in the next couple episodes after that, where Tyrion's like, you shouldn't have
You
executed
shouldn't
him,
have
shouldn't have
done
burned
it.
him alive,
Yeah.
throw him in
he
a
tried
cell,
to talk him out.
and then all to try to set up the scene where she doesn't have to. She's the queen.
Yeah.
Where she can say, she doesn't have to explain, look, he was a traitor. I gave him the opportunity. I didn't murder him. You know, he was executed under the circumstance. And she just kind of says, she actually doesn't even say he's dead. She just says he wouldn't bend the knee, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Implied.
So
That's
didn't-
implied.
Yeah.
And not just you, everybody there essentially felt that was a little out of character for Sam.
Okay, so I thought he was more taken aback. Everybody's upset because they say, he wouldn't cry over his father. I think he was more taken aback and started, the little.
He had this fist.
Yeah, he was definitely a little
His-
upset.
When
His
she
lip,
mentioned
his lip.
Yeah.
We watched it twice. His lip was definitely quivering, and he was
starting to cry.
Right.
And granted, it was when he mentioned his brother that he broke
The
out.
waterworks,
right? And so I agree with that. However, even the brother, they haven't really set up their relationship too much.
There's
where
a
you would
little,
feel-
but not
But
much.
it all leans on how good of a person Sam is. Yes, despite his father being a jerk, despite him having to steal the sword, despite him having to do all these things that he clearly doesn't like his father, in the end, it's still his father. And I think Sam would have shown a little bit of remorse and regret that his father
Just
made
enough.
such a poor decision, and now he's dead now, and he can't.
But he has none of the details of the situations. Like
Right.
Daenerys isn't cold-hearted. She's there to honor someone who saved one of her friends. I think it kind of just felt out of character for a lot of reasons, where she would have said, look, this is the situation. I'm not just a murderer. And it felt kind of forced because it sets up the very next scene where Sam meets Bran, who's just been sitting in the courtyard the entire episode, and then drops like, we have no time for this. Go tell Jon right now that R plus L equal J confirmed.
Yeah.
And then so they runs down into the pit and just goes, she's not the queen, you're the king, and it feels emotionally charged, and it didn't need to be emotionally charged. I don't think Sam needs to go down there. Like, it almost feels like he's trying to take something back from her.
Where he fell down the stairs or something.
He did fall down the stairs.
Or was he hiding from John? He was like, should I tell him? I shouldn't tell him. And then he accidentally makes a noise. And then John's like,
Maybe
are
he
you
was-
hiding from me?
Yeah, maybe he was waiting at the top of the stairs, like trying to decide, and then he just fell down the stairs. That's a Sam thing to do.
Which leads to another really good scene between, two friends, because, he really trusts in Sam. And this is probably the only one he would believe it from.
Yeah.
Initially, Sam tries to make Bran go and tell him. And
Correct.
Bran's like, look, I'm not his brother anymore.
Yeah.
'Cause
I'm not his
I'm
like
crazy.
true brother.
I'm
Yeah.
three-eyed raven.
He's the guardian of the courtyard.
He is.
Guardian of the courtyard.
Poor
Because
man.
nobody has moved me.
Somebody go get him.
Do you want me to move you? No, I'm waiting for a friend.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
He was talking about Sam, right? Or was he talking about
he was
Jamie?
talking about Jamie.
Jamie wasn't a
Definitely.
friend though.
But that's why he said it. I'm waiting for an old friend.
An old friend.
It was,
Yeah.
in a sarcastic way. And he was waiting for
Okay.
Jamie the whole time.
Maybe.
But anyways, so Sam goes down there to tell John the big reveal.
Yep.
And then this is where John knows now that he's been fucking his aunt. We've been having incest sex. So a lot of different emotions.
Yup.
He doesn't believe it, but he does believe it because it's coming
does.
from his friend. And you could see it in his eyes. He stares into Sam's eyes,
Yeah.
kind of to see whether Sam is wavering. But no,
Joking,
Sam's like,
yeah.
this is
I
real.
read this
Uh-huh.
in the books, like there would have not been a lie and confirmed by your brother who has whatever he has.
Yeah, that was also
he saw
really
it.
fun.
Yeah.
He's like, well, Bran did, that thing that he does, that creepy thing where he, he sits and says strange things.
Yep.
But.
Yeah. So what do you think the implications for this is going to be? Is Jon going to immediately run to Dany? And
I think he might take some time to consider his options.
I think
because Dany still doesn't know.
I think he's going to do the dumbest thing possible immediately,
no.
because that's what he did in the previous season where they're trying to convince the Lannisters to march, and Cersei says, "Yeah, I'll do that if you promise to stay out of the war." And all he has to do is nothing, and then everything goes well. Yeah. But remember, the writers even said at the end of this episode, Jon's kind of an idiot.
Yeah.
So he's going to do the dumbest thing possible to cause the most amount of conflict.
Yes, this was in the behind the scenes. Those things that play after the
Mm-hmm.
episode. They did imply that Jon is a little dumb.
So he's going to do the Ned Stark thing, the most honorable, stupid thing that's going to cause the most harm to everyone around him, even though he wants to help everyone. Mm-hmm. And I don't know.
I guess the other part is we don't have time to wait around and let him take his sweet ass time to
they're
decide.
there in a day. They got 24 hours before the walkers show up.
Exactly.
And then we go to the tone changes tremendously, and I thought this was very well shot.
Mm-hmm.
Turns into a fucking horror movie. We see Tormund. We see
I thought he said horror movie because before that
horror movie. Oh, there is a horror movie in this as well.
Yeah.
I was like, let's go quickly.
Yeah,
to
that is a
Bronn.
tone change.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back over there to Bronn,
Yep.
who is in King's Landing with his 3 horse,
Yes.
who promptly get naked and start riding his.
They don't actually get promptly riding. They're
he's-
sitting there chit-chatting about other dudes that they have lost, and he's awkwardly like, hey, my thing, it's right here.
Well, he's also wearing his pants are like 95% pulled up, and he's just like they're leather pants.
Yeah,
and
I'm
so he only
not
has like the
sure.
top part pulled down. It was very awkward.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he was ready to go, and he's
Yeah.
having a good time, but yet they're talking. He's like, could you ladies,
Focus.
shut up and focus on what you're doing here? And unfortunately, he doesn't get to have any fun because who walks in?
Oh, Qyburn comes.
Qyburn comes in and he says, I have a proposition from the queen. She's wondering if her brothers somehow survive. We would like to make sure they don't survive.
Yeah.
So why don't you take this
Crossbow.
crossbow and tons of gold. In fact, there's a big old fucking dump truck outside with a bunch of gold in it. She pays up front, and we want you to kill Jaime, and we want you to kill Tyrion for us. And these are his best friends.
The only 2 people that ever cared about him.
Yeah.
Right. But here's the thing. Bull fucking shit. If Bronn kills either of those 2, I would be so fucking pissed. No way this is happening.
No.
So I know they're trying to set it up for drama, and then later on he's going to join them, and he's going to be hidden. And no. This is one that's just painfully obvious.
Well, yeah, absolutely. He has the gold already, so it's already paid up front. He can just go betray her, go move up there with them, and be like, I got her gold.
Yeah.
And then
this
here's
is
the proof that she sent me to kill you is this is the crossbow that Tyrion used to kill his father.
Like, shit.
Yeah.
And Joffrey used
we might get a
to
scene maybe of Tyrion and Jaime with that crossbow with Bronn.
Yeah.
Well, there's a standing offer. Whatever they're paying you, I'll double.
I'll
It has
double
always
it.
been
Yeah.
his Tyrion's
It's like,
standing
this
offer
is
to
what
him.
she paid me.
Yeah, it's just like, this is what you paid me. It's already in my pocket. And
Yeah.
then he's like, fine, I'll double. It's like, oh, cool, we're friends again.
Oh, okay. Well, then in the end, maybe, it's trying to do a misdirect. And, hey, we get to have Bronn on the good side,
Yay,
too.
finally.
Instead of seeing him on the battlefield with, friggin' the queen against Jaime.
Well, he's
and
not
stuff
allowed
like
to be
that.
in the same scene.
Yeah,
as
they're
she
not
is.
allowed.
Oh, that's true.
It's written into
That's
their
why
contracts.
he switched sides.
Yeah.
If y'all don't know the story behind that, he's the actual real ex-husband, I think, of
Cersei.
Cersei's Cersei, Linda, or what was her name? God, I can't remember her name. But she's a fantastic actress, and she has it in her contract. Well, I think it's rumors.
It's rumors that they're not allowed to be on set with each other.
It would make sense because throughout the entire 8 seasons, they've never once been in the same shot.
There was also some awkward scenes where they're in the dragon pit, and then he just like, hey, Podrick, come have a beer with me.
Yeah.
And then he leaves right before Cersei shows
Yeah.
up. It's like kind of forced in there. All right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, that's very meta. Okay, so we get that scene. We know that ain't going to lead to nothing. He ain't going to kill nobody. Or maybe the fucking Game of Thrones will shock us and he fires a fucking,
He tries
arrow
to kill
through somebody's
Cersei?
heart or something. No, I was saying he does betray his friends.
No.
Nope.
Well,
Anyways,
back to the real horror
the real
scene.
horror scene with Tormund, and I'm glad to see, obviously, he's still alive.
It's one of my favorite other quotes too. Is they're sneaking through the fortress. Everybody's got their weapons at the ready, and then all of a sudden you go around the corner and bam! Oh, he's got blue eyes. I've always had blue eyes.
Yeah, the Night's Watch encounters the Men of Banners, and they're about to fight, and he's like, he's blue eyes! He's a white one! Motherfucker, I've always had blue eyes. It was great. It made everybody there laugh. But the laughs were pretty quick to end when we turn around and we see the message that the Night King has left. Earlier in the episode, when Dany's comes back with Jon, they're in the hall, and they're sort of talking a little bit of politics. It says, Umber, where are your men, Lord Umber? And this little boy comes out. He's a tiny little kid, and he's like, I don't have enough resources, carts and horses to get my men over here. And she's like, you shall have them. Go
get.
Unfortunately, this little kid is fucking nailed to the wall, and some sick, grotesque, demonic.
It's the same symbols.
It's a spiral of thighs.
Spiral of legs and thighs and arms, and he is murdered. And they're talking, and not only is that harrowing, but it was really great. In the background, you could see his eyes open, and you're like, mother, oh hell no! And we're not supposed to talk while we were watching Game of Thrones.
No talking.
But I was like, oh,
I was afraid
no.
Tormund was gonna die right then
Right.
and there because he pulls out a weapon. You could see it, and everyone's like, no!
He can't die until he has monstrous children with Brienne of
With
Tarth,
Brienne.
who was
Yeah.
absent this episode.
Yes, Brienne was absent, but I'm trying to tell you this scene, which is harrowing, because he goes, and it's like, oh, with that little kid, and it goes up. It's already at 10. They take the scene to 11.
Yep.
They light the kid bursts into flames.
They have to.
Get HBO Game of Thrones literally burns children.
Gotta.
It was crazy, and it's just a harrowing image reminding you what's coming. I mean, nobody's safe.
Nope.
A little innocent kid like this, you thought, oh, cute, we're gonna have another little bear, the bear lady.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Liana.
Everybody loves her character. I was like, oh, I like
Yeah.
that guy. And at the end of the episode, I'm like,
He did.
ah! And that's just a little bit on what's to come. And yeah,
Now we know Winterfell's next.
Winterfell's
Yeah, they're
next.
They
going to be
showed
there
the map.
in one day.
Yep.
Whoo, boy. But we do want to circle back and talk about another meeting that we forgot, because there are so many meetings.
Yeah, everyone's having.
Gendry is back. He is forging all of the weapons for everybody using the glass obtained from underground and Dragonstone. And shit. Are they able to build these things fast? I feel the limited resources when he's like, this is all you brought. And, hey, don't drop that. We need every single piece, because these are the only weapons, including, any flaming blades and Valyrian steel that will destroy the White Walkers. So they're forging arrows. They're forging weapons, and even an axe for the Hound. I didn't know the Hound uses axes.
He does now.
Yeah.
But he does now. And as he's doing this, the Hound comes to pick up the axe, and we're getting a meeting between him and Arya.
Yep.
And I don't know. This was another one of those scenes that I felt this interaction didn't go as
It was too short.
This interaction didn't go as well
was.
as I thought, and it's mainly very dismissive.
Well, Arya believed that the Hound was dead, that she left him for dead after robbing him, of course.
Yeah.
And so seeing him again, she's have no reason to actually fully trust him. I mean, yes, they had their whole ride back to the north and wherever together, but at the same time, she never fully took him off her list. So seeing him technically come back was a huge change for her.
Yeah, but the problem I had is, like, the last time when the Hound goes to the Dragon Pit, he starts walking with Brienne of Tarth, and they start talking about Arya. And it's the closest we get to him smiling, because he starts, it's almost he's talking about her. He's so glad that she's safe, and it makes you think that all the time he spent with that small traveling band of people kind of changed him. Yeah. And I thought, okay, great. He's kind of developed a little bit. He's gonna surprise her with, I'm glad you're alive kind of thing. Yeah. And he gave her some of it, but
I wanted more from that scene.
Yeah,
that scene a little disappointed me, especially because I like Arya's character and I love the Hound so much. I hope we get the Clegane boy, please.
Hell yeah.
Clegane boy.
But especially since they also forced in the Arya and Gendry reunion at the same time.
I like that.
So where is this coming from? Are you getting vibes that she's starting to fall in love with this guy?
They did before. So
Really?
there was a couple seasons ago where he wants to join, I think, the Brotherhood at the time, and he's like, they're going to be my family, and she's like, we can be family.
It was before that too, actually,
yeah.
when they were writing together, and he found out that she was a Lady Stark. He was poking fun at her. Oh, Lady Stark. Oh, let me. And so they had that back and forth from the very
that's
beginning.
Right. It's been so long. Okay. All right. Well, I felt like it was a little forced in there. I was
Super
like,
forced.
I liked
but
it.
I think they're ramping it up for the
Oh,
season because of the books and because of where the storylines are supposed to end up with these two possibly together or in a relationship.
I
Got
like
5
that.
episodes left. I don't know how they're going to cram all this stuff in.
Oh, they'll cram it in.
Well,
Right.
try to cram it in. That's terrible. I don't think that is legal. All right. Anyways, and that's pretty much it. I think we've covered everything in the episode as far as I can remember. Next time I'll have to structure everything from where the scenes were. I'll write it all down and we can go. So sorry for it being a little jumpy. Getting back into the swing of things and reviewing the episode, we felt some scenes were really, really well done, and a little bit had some problem with some character motivations or just would they really speak like this. A lot of it felt rushed. We wanted a little bit more because we love these characters so much, but there's also this huge problem of fucking so many characters to deal with and so many characters having to resolve these things that we just have to keep it going.
Yep.
So let's give an overall rating for this particular episode, and let's start with Alex.
So for me, and I don't know if we're doing it this way, I'm going to rate this episode against just other Game of Thrones episodes.
Okay, so you're including big-ass battles?
Everything together, because it's really hard, because the average Game of Thrones episode is still one of the best things you're going to watch on TV. But this one felt just barely above average for Game of Thrones. Like, I got a lot of really satisfying reunions, but honestly, the reunion and introduction episodes have been done better when the band of people go off into the north to go capture a wildling. Having all those characters interact, it felt better. So this one didn't feel as good. I felt that they rushed some things. There were some wonderful scenes, so it's definitely above average. But there was also some ones that they forced through because they just don't have enough time. And so maybe it's because I have unrealistic expectations, but I think this one is just barely above average, so I'm going to give it a 6.
Okay. And like you said, 6 in Game of Thrones terms
is excellent.
Which
Absolutely
would be
excellent.
like, much higher in comparison to other television series. What about you, Erica?
There were certain things that Alex didn't like that I actually kind of appreciated. Again, we're going to fight about the whole Samwell believing that his father's dead comparisons. I like that they pretty much included every single character except Brienne and Podrick. So I kind of liked it, but again, if we're judging based off
Ghost, there's no Ghost.
There's no Ghost.
There's no money for like, if you're gonna have How to Train Your Dragon 5
Yep.
in this episode, you don't gonna have money for elephants and for direwolves.
No White Walkers
Yeah,
either. We're holding
the-
that.
We got half of one.
Yeah,
Oh,
half
that's
of
right.
one.
The kid,
yeah.
the kid.
They had the dragon riding scene, which really pulled at my heartstrings. Who didn't dream of dragon flying when they
know.
were a kid?
That's-
So
I'm with you.
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7,
Okay.
honestly, because it wasn't the worst, but it again could have been better.
Okay, we got some real critics on our hands over here because I think it was done much better. I think what it is the acting was stellar, the dialogue was fantastic, and the problems that I had, and I loved, the Sam Daenerys scene where some people have problems with it. I loved the dragon riding scene. I loved that it was just, like I said, a warm embrace of all the Games of Thrones goodness, and it was short. but it managed to get about everything in there that I wanted, except for, those 3 things that we pointed out that weren't showing up. And we don't want to overstuff it, even though it's already overstuffed. So I think it's an 8 out of 10. And I think it does lose those 2 points because of the character motivations and because of having to sort of rush through some of these really impactful moments that you could play for emotion. And they got enough of them, and we had to get it all in there. And I really, really liked it. And it could be getting extra points because it has been 18
It's been
I
a
think
while.
it's getting a lot of extra
It's
points.
probably getting a lot of extra points. I tend to do that. Remember, you got to give a -1.
We're here to be the
any
angry
Angry
ones.
Joe rating, so it's probably a 7.
What
but-
would you say something like Hard Home or Battle of the Bastards? Like those
Yeah,
are,
well, those are 10
Yeah,
out
those
of
are
10.
you think that this
for
one is
me.
within 2 points of those?
No.
See?
So I'm telling you, I am giving it extra points. But I love it so much. I love it.
It was,
Okay,
it
all
was
right.
a turkey leg.
It was-
the turkey
it
leg.
was the
Hold
turkey
on.
leg.
You stuffed me full of meat and turkey legs and costumes. No, you're right. I said I wasn't going to do this, and here I am doing it. So I am going to do the -1. It is a 7 out of 10. Tons and tons of talking, foreshadowing for what's to come, but it's necessary. It really is necessary.
Was it necessary? So the problem I have is not with the show itself, but the decision to make it 55 minutes. I mean, I would have sat there for another 45 minutes. I would have sat there for
Fuck
an
yeah.
hour.
Too, yeah.
You
But
know
it's
what?
like-
there's that other point because there's no reason to rush it.
Exactly.
I was already deducting a point for rushing it, but I'm going to go deduct it more because there's really no reason to rush these
No.
things. So it is a 7 out of 10. Thank you for bringing
Yep.
me back to my critic side. Now, some of you out there, you
Hey.
just enjoy it, and you
Yeah.
will enjoy it. As a
We
Game of Thrones
all
fan.
Yeah,
enjoyed
we
it.
did.
It's like we all think that I liked it. I know there hasn't
Yeah.
been a lot of Game of Thrones episodes
Yeah.
that I didn't like.
Well, get this. I will say this. It's a 7 out of 10, but remember, this is Game of Thrones rating, and Game of Thrones compared to all other series is probably a +2.
Yep.
So really, in other terms, it's like a 9
No!
out of 10 for them other ones. But in terms of Game of Thrones
Yeah,
episodes,
it's
it
7.
is definitely a 7
Yep.
out of 10. So, all right, guys. So that was the review for it. But because this is the first episode, I think it's exciting to get in some predictions for what we're going to see in the future. There are so many predictions. One that I want to carry over from last season, which has been obliterated on YouTube
Okay.
because of goddamn
'Cause
HBO
of
and
everybody.
demonetization is and thank you to Stardust app. We'll get there, but do you think that Hodor will come back as a?
Oh
White
no!
Oh.
He will.
Yeah.
You know he will.
Yeah.
Okay, out of all
I
of
will be so disappointed if he doesn't at this point.
he will.
You think so?
I believe
There's a chance
he
the
was-
writers are like, that's too much.
No, he will, and we'll all start crying.
Yeah.
I'll start crying. I cried
Alex
both
won't
times
cry
I
for
watched it.
Hodor.
He
No.
won't cry for anybody.
Hold the door.
Not
Hold
for
the
Not
door.
for Hodor.
Every time, and that's gonna be
I
so
will.
sad.
It will be sad. So we all are in agreement. Hodor will show up.
Yeah, he's gonna
Yeah.
be.
Those
If they
are all
killed any of the
yeses from
wolves,
us.
I'd probably start.
Now,
Yeah.
who is going to die this series? There are so many characters, so we don't really want to go one by one. Let's just do some
The big ones.
the big ones.
Well, you
so,
believe-
like I mentioned, I think I have a theory
Mm-hmm.
that they're going to end this series with the death of Dany and Daenerys, and I don't want them to. Because I want her to live, I want her to rule the kingdoms because I really like the character.
Yep.
But it just seems to me that it's going to try to pull the heartstring, and she will save the kingdom by sacrificing her life. There is a book theory, a book sort of prediction that I think in the first battle with the White Walkers with another Targaryen, I forget his name because I can't remember any names in Game of Thrones. You guys know that. There was a particular sword that they had to forge, and the only way to forge this sword is he had to plunge it into the heart of the one that he loved. And so I think that maybe Jon is going to have to kill Dany in order to,
Forge this
forge
sword.
the sword in order to defeat the Night King. Or maybe he already has the weapons. He already does have Longclaw, which
I'm just
apparently
hoping they've kind of
Yeah.
ignored a
But-
lot of the book theories already,
That's
and I'm hoping they
true.
continue to kind of ignore them.
There is a lot of book theories that they're ignoring. They haven't ignored Cersei's theory, where she will die by the hands of somebody related to her. So they've been touching on some. But you're right. It does seem like to come way out of left field for something like a forging of a sword through the heart of a person that
Yeah,
you love.
especially
would
if it's
come
her.
from left field and everybody be like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Why didn't you set this
They'll be
up?
pissed.
Because I was thinking that the red. Here was my theory. Let me finish it out.
Sure.
Okay, the red woman comes back. The sorceress lady, Melisandre, and she Melisandre, because that's the other one.
Yeah.
Melisandre.
Oh,
yeah,
see,
yeah.
do you see what happens when I try to do
It's too
names?
close.
Anyways, she brings like an army with her, and then she's like exposition heavy. Here's what you have to do, and that would be a shitty ride.
What if it's like Sam finds something and he purposely like he translates it in a way where he's like, "Hey John, you know that you got to go kill her because this scroll I found
He
says
wouldn't
so."
do
Right,
that.
Well, he's
that
so
would be
blubbering over his dad died that maybe he's gonna do
It's
something
his
stupid.
brother.
I just don't think, and the fact that she maybe they're gonna have a baby, and then she'll have the baby, and then once she has that baby, if she does have a baby, she's
I think she
expendable.
will.
She's got like 8 more months.
I think
8.5 more months before she can have a baby. The
She
White Walkers show up
birthed
tomorrow.
the
Yeah,
fucking-
maybe they did.
Well, that's true.
White
Fine.
Walkers show up tomorrow.
Okay, well then my theory is already debunked then. But I still think Dany is going to die through some other means because it's too ripe of a story moment to exploit for emotion. Because everybody loves Dany, and this is Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Your favorite characters aren't going to make it. Jon has already died several times. That's why I don't think Jon will
Just the
die.
once.
Because why do we keep resurrecting Jon just to kill him at the end? Alex, hit us up with something.
I know the mountain is dead. And I don't think the Hound is going to live either. I think all the House Clegane is
The
dead.
Hound is on borrowed time.
I think he. I mean, if
His only purpose is to kill the mountain.
I think so. I mean, the last time they met, he said, "You know who's coming for you. It's I've always been coming for you." That's the last time they've talked, and so he threatened his brother the last time they were face to face.
He didn't say,
So
I will
clean
always
and
be
bold.
coming.
Well,
for
he
you.
said you've
He
always
implied.
known, and if
Yeah.
he's always known, the only person who's always been there is him.
I don't think the Hound can take down the mountain by himself. So I actually think it's going to be Arya and the Hound teaming up to
take
take
out
down the mountain. And Arya is going to stab the mountain in the eye, and that's going to be the equalizer that the Hound needs in order to take down.
Why
his brother.
specifically in the eye?
I've read a lot of theories, and I've been doing a lot of theory crafting, a lot of YouTube videos. Everybody thinks the mountain's going to get stabbed in the eye. It might be from another one of those book predictions. I don't know.
Okay.
But I've heard it many times.
I'll be happy to watch it.
Sure. Sounds good.
Tyrion, live or die?
I think he might die because this is Game of Thrones. And they're implying that he's not as smart as he once used to be. So maybe he'll go and try to do one last rally to go with Cersei to bring out the armies. Who knows? But I have a bad feeling. He
What about
I
you?
think he's gonna live. If they had
Do you think he's going to sit on the throne?
No, but I think if they had
No.
treated Tyrion the way that they had treated him in the first couple seasons, the last couple seasons, and including this episode, Tyrion's an idiot. He does everything wrong. All of his predictions are wrong. All of his strategies are wrong. Everything that he says is wrong. And even this
Not
girl,
everything.
well, the girl that he
terms
viewed
of
as very
military
simple
strategy.
is like, she's like, I used to think that you were the most clever man in the entire realm, and she's calling him out. And because they're if he had been higher up on everyone's like doing really well right
so
now,
then why doesn't that mean he dies?
I think that if they're going to kill, I think they're going to kill off characters that are doing better right now. Like we have Tyrion's
So it's going to be a very sad thing that mopey characters that don't deserve it are the ones to
That survive.
reap and
Oh,
inherit
no.
the
If
earth.
you think there, what
And I
Ramsey
agree
said,
with you.
if you think this is going to be a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.
I
Oh.
agree with you. When I said Jamie will get his face torn off and then he will kill in some way he gets to kill his sister
Yep.
because it's actually Arya.
Yep.
But she doesn't have to kill him to take his face. I don't know because I actually don't think that Jamie dies. I think it's very, very heavily implied throughout the series that Jamie is going to end up the Hand of the King. There's several scenes within Game of Thrones itself that he's like, "Oh God, no, I don't want to be Hand of the King."
He's never wanted to
I
be.
will never. I don't want to be Hand of the King. He says it so many different
Yeah, he
times
does.
throughout the different seasons.
Yeah.
By the end,
Yep.
he's going to be the Hand of the King.
Well, so if my
And I have
theory,
no idea who's going
Yeah.
to sit on the throne.
No.
I haven't figured that one out yet. You in the comments will tell us what you think.
If my theory holds true, though, then I would naturally think that Jamie's going to die because Jamie's on this big redemption arc,
Right.
and because he's more and more of a fan favorite. At the beginning, he's throwing kids out the window.
Yeah.
He's having sex with his sister. He just sucks. Everyone hates him, and
He
now
already tried to commit suicide
and so he keeps going
by
through.
charging the fucking
Oh,
dragon.
yeah.
Oh
did.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then he just keeps trying to do more and more noble things. And I think people to do noble things in Game of Thrones die.
They do.
I mean, so I think that Jaime's gonna die.
Dany brought that up at one point. She's talking to Tyrion, and she goes, "I'm glad that you're not a hero like Jon Snow and all of these other people."
Right.
They end up going and doing stupid things, and then they
die.
die.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. What about Tormund? Does he finally get to be with?
Oh.
They're gonna break my heart, so I know they're gonna do it because I know.
Tormund is
We
gonna
want
die
him to
before he
live.
gets to be with Brienne.
I want him to have
but Brienne
giant
doesn't want
monsters.
to be with him. She wants to be with Jaime.
Yeah, but that's not the point. We're all fantasizing about it.
about these huge babies.
The monsters will take over the world.
Yep.
Battle babies. Yeah, it would be awesome. All right, guys. That's going to be it for us. But before we go, I want to say very much thank you to the Stardust app, guys, for sponsoring our show, sponsoring our episodes. We're going to have 7 of these. We're going to review all 6 episodes for you. And we're also going to give you a 7th wrap-up episode where we could talk about all the character
Everything.
arcs. So definitely download this app. This app allows you to basically do what we just did. Share your thoughts with others, some online personalities. Some of my friends on YouTube are on there. Jeremy Johns, Chris Stuckman. I'm now on there. It's actually really, really fun, and it would be awesome if you guys would help grow our community there. Download the app, follow Angry Joe Show, and it supports the show directly. It gives us $1, I think, every time you do that. I'll put all those details in there so you have full disclosure in the description below. And while I am a part of this for these 7 episodes of our Game of Thrones reviews, I will be doing live comments and live reactions uploaded directly to that app, and you can see an example of that here. T-minus 30 minutes. We are cooking. Yeah, turkey legs from Alex. Look at these bad boys. Oh yeah. And then for dessert we got Game of Thrones Oreo cookies. I cannot wait. Cannot wait to check out the show. Hopefully you guys are ready. We got our whole area over here. And there's what we're going to be watching. So definitely sign up to that on Stardust app. It would help support the show. You really appreciate that. And you get a few exclusive videos and exclusive interaction with us there.
Mm-hmm. And you got to check out all the cool stuff that we're eating beforehand, too.
Oh, yeah. All the wonderful things that Alex makes us. And speaking of making things, we decided during the break to do an amazing Deadpool. Oh, my God. This won't even fit on the screen of the characters because we were like, we can't go through each and every single little one. I'm going to hand this to them because it's not fitting on my screen. This is the Game of Thrones Deadpool here on who we think is going to live or die. I'll try to make a version maybe in a link below or something, unless you can see it there. I'm not really sure. But these are all the characters, are the major important characters that we think are going to live or die. And by the end, we'll see who has the most points and who wins. Mm-hmm. You can participate with us by making your own Deadpool, and it'll be fun. We'll see who gets horribly murdered. Remember, this is Game of Thrones. I don't think it's going to have a happy ending. I think, and if it does have a happy ending, I'd be happy. But creatively, I would be like, that's not right.
Little disappointed.
Not right. Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the episode, and we cannot wait till next week. What the hell am I going to do? And I think next week's episode, a little preview in there. Yep. I think it's just more talking, more building to the battle. Yeah. We know that Tormund and his boys are coming down. They're going to use horses to try to go around because the army is in between them and Winterfell. Yep. But they get there first, and they say they're right behind us. There is no time. Let's go. And we see that shot of Tyrion looking out from the thing. You don't see the White Walkers, but I'm pretty sure he's looking at an army. Mm-hmm. So that means episode 3, people start dying. So you've got episode 1 right now to do the Deadpool, and maybe we might change our ratings by episode 2. But once episode 2 rolls around, we're going to set this Game of Thrones Deadpool in stone. You set yours in stone, and we'll see who gets the most points by the end of the season. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Download that Stardust app to support us, and thank you, and we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.